The twin moons of Vexa Prime glowed faintly above the jagged peaks of the Blackspire Mountains. The fortress of Baron Khlorr, a monstrous six-limbed Traskin overlord, jutted out from the stone like a parasite. Inside its dungeons, beneath layers of iron and bone, a prisoner hung by her wrists, suspended, motionless, and half-dead. Her name was Seraxa, once a general in the Valari resistance, now nothing more than a forgotten relic. Her skin, once silver and radiant, had dulled to ash. Scars crisscrossed her back in the shape of the Traskin whip. Her wings, once majestic and feared across systems, were mutilated and chained to her spine with searing iron. 15 years. 15 years of torture, starvation, and silence. All for defying Baron Khlorr in the last great uprising of the Outer Rim. You still live, little flame. Baron Khlorr rasped as he entered the cell. His voice was a guttural growl that echoed off the damp walls. He slithered closer, his armored tail scraping the floor, his mandibles clicking. Seraxa didn't answer. Her lips were cracked. Her eyes were barely open. Your kind breaks after 1 year, Khlorr hissed. You've lasted 15. You should be proud. But I wonder, how will you scream when I tear your memories out one by one? He raised his neural lash. The air shimmered with electric pain. But before the whip cracked down, an alarm blared throughout the fortress, an unnatural sound, human. Far above the dungeon, Captain Ross Calder, a reconnaissance operative from Earth's interstellar recon agency, sprinted through the corridors with a plasma rifle and a stolen key chip. He hadn't come to Vexa Prime to rescue anyone. His mission had been to map out enemy territory and leave. But during his data extraction, he had stumbled across a prisoner file, one that had been sealed for over a decade. The entry read, Subject 001, Seraxa the Defiant. Status, subjugated. Intelligence threat level, Omega. What kind of prisoner had an Omega-level threat tag? Something in Ross refused to let it go. He followed the digital trail until it led to the dungeons. The stink of blood and sulfur was overwhelming. His HUD scanned the cells, most were filled with bones. But then, in the last chamber, he found her. She was barely alive. But her eyes still burned. He keyed the cell open. Hey, he whispered. I'm getting you out of here. Seraxa couldn't believe her eyes. A human. She had heard of them. Primitive creatures who only recently joined the galactic stage. Yet here one stood, clad in armor, holding a weapon she had never seen before. He was trying to speak. Trying to unhook her from the chains. She wanted to laugh. Or cry. Or rip his throat out. But all she managed was a whisper. Why? Ross met her gaze. Because no one deserves this. As the chains clattered to the floor, Seraxa collapsed. Ross caught her. She weighed almost nothing. You're going to make it, he said, slinging her over his shoulder. But we need to move, now. Baron Khlorr's voice howled through the intercom. Find the human. Kill him. Kill her. Burn the sky if you must. The entire fortress went red with alarm. Ross bolted through the corridors, shooting down Traskin guards left and right. Seraxa clutched to his back, the motion jarring her broken wings and scarred flesh, but something in her heart thudded for the first time in years, hope. They made it to the hangar. Ross's stealth ship blinked like a hidden star. But as they approached, the floor cracked beneath them, and Baron Khlorr erupted from the ground. You will not take her from me, he bellowed. Ross fired. Khlorr absorbed the shots and kept coming. His limbs slammed down like hammers. Ross dodged, but his arm shattered from a blow. The plasma rifle skittered across the floor. Khlorr grabbed him by the throat. You dare steal my prize. From the shadows, Seraxa rose. She had picked up Ross's sidearm, small, but powerful. She could barely lift it, her fingers weak and trembling. but she aimed it at Khlorr's skull. "I was never yours," she rasped. She fired. The blast bored a hole through Khlorr's cranium. The Baron twitched once, then collapsed like a mountain of rot. Ross coughed as Seraxa stumbled toward him. He grinned despite the pain. "You're stronger than you look." "I held on," she said, "because I remembered who I was." Ross stared at her, scarred, broken, radiant. "Who are you now?" She hesitated. And then, for the first time in 15 years, she smiled. "Free." 3 weeks later, Earth orbit. In a sterile medical bay aboard an Earth Command cruiser, Seraxa stood by the window, wearing a white uniform stitched with human insignias. Her wounds were healing. Her wings had been reconstructed, metal and nanofiber replacing bone. Her back still bore scars. But now, they were stories, not shackles. Ross entered, his arm in a sling. "You look like a commander," he said. "I was," Seraxa replied. "I will be again." "You sure you want to stay with us? Earth's not exactly a galactic paradise." She turned to face him. "Your people did what no one else did. They saw value in the broken. I won't forget that." Ross nodded. "Command's offering you a position, consultant on Trascan insurgency. We're going to wipe them out." She smiled. "Not wipe them out. Free the ones they've enslaved." Ross looked at her, this fallen angel forged in fire, and now reborn. "I'm glad I found you," he said. "I found myself," she corrected. "You just reminded me I still existed." Epilogue, Vexa Prime, Ruins of Khlorr's Fortress. Months later, the fortress was nothing more than shattered stone and twisted steel. A human-flagged drone landed among the rubble. It deployed a metal beacon engraved with a single line in both Earth Standard and Valari script. "Here once stood a tyrant. May all who resist him rise again." Above it, the stars shimmered with endless possibility.